Manchester City are closing in on a £36.3 million signing of Wolverhampton Wanderers left back Rayan Ait-Nouri. So look, this is actually going to be a great signing for Manchester City, right? So look, the 24-year-old is actually set to undergo a medical with the dethroned Premier League champions, and he will actually be available to play in the upcoming Club World Cup, providing the transfer is completed by June the 10th. It is without any doubt that Ait-Nouri was actually a standout player for Wolverhampton Wanderers in what perhaps we could all describe as a difficult season for them. It was actually a difficult campaign for them in the 2024-2025 season. So they were embroiled in a relegation battle during the first half of the season, and then the decision to actually appoint Victor Pereira as a replacement for Gary O'Neill proved to actually be an inspired one, because the Portuguese manager successfully led the club away from danger. You know, I think Wolverhampton Wanderers, they finished about 17th or 16th, if I'm not mistaken. You know, they were basically clear off the relegation zone with 4 to 5 games to spare, right? If I'm not actually mistaken. And Pereira was actually able to lean on the talent of Ait-Nouri as well as Matheus Cunha, who has already joined Manchester United this summer. You understand? But again, now faces the prospect of losing the Algerian fullback in a deal that will actually earn Wolves an initial £31.3 million. You understand? So which is basically equivalent, if you do the maths correctly, that is equivalent to 40 million euros. Okay, so basically a further £5 million in performance related add-ons has also been agreed upon, and Ait-Nouri now just needs to actually pass a medical and become a City player, you know, who have already struck a deal on personal terms with the Algerian fullback. You know, he's very talented, guys. I mean, there's already Ibrahim Maza, who has already joined Bayer Leverkusen, and also now you have him. You know, so it'll actually be an exciting prospect to see how Algeria is going to perform, because it seems like the future of Algerian football really looks bright with all these, you know, talented young players that are actually coming up, right? And Ait-Nouri also recently described manager Pep Guardiola as a great coach while away on international duty with Algeria, and the feeling is, you know, likely mutual, given the legendary Spaniard, you know, had made the 24-year-old his primary target to actually help City fill in that void at left back. You know, so Guardiola, you know, turned to the impressive teenager, you know, Nico O'Reilly, who actually he is a midfielder by trade. You know, Guardiola is actually known to actually sometimes not play players in their original positions. You know, he wants players that are actually versatile. You understand? And he always wants to work with those kind of players. And surprisingly, he has a way of bringing out the best in them. You know, because look at Zinchenko. Zinchenko is not a left back, right? He's a midfielder by trade. But Guardiola managed to turn him into a left back. And he was actually great at left back. Even now at Arsenal, he's actually doing well at that left back position. And towards the, you know, also, you know, having also previously tasked central defender Josko Guardiola with covering that position, Nathan Ake, Rico Lewis have also been deployed on the left by Guardiola, who often inverts his fullbacks, you know, in games, depending on City's dominance and the volume of possession that they have, right? So Ait-Nouri has also shown that he's actually capable of operating as a traditional left back, I meant to say. So flying down the wing to overlap, you know, and put those crosses into the box, while he has also demonstrated the fact that, you know, he possesses this ability, you know, to actually, you know, he's got the speed running down the byline and actually even cutting inside. Sometimes he knows even how to use his right foot, his weaker right foot, right? And which also makes him a versatile player, if you say. And he also has that ability to be inverted in central areas, right? Because we did see that several times in some of Wolverhampton Wanderers' games, especially even against Fulham, notably against Fulham at Craven Cottage, even the game that they played at Old Trafford against Manchester United. I did see that, you know, he had this ability to actually be inverted into that central role, you know, and he actually does it effortlessly, right? So it'll actually be interesting to see, you know, how he'll actually be able to fit into that Manchester City team, right? And also, you know, he also has this ability to become a goal threat, right? So with that versatility as well as his speed, it will actually appeal greatly to Guardiola, right? You know, who will actually have the Premier League title glory on his mind immediately after City compete in the FIFA Club World Cup, which is set to actually take place from June to July, right? And it's 32 teams this time. So that's actually the first of its kind.